Hello, everyone. I am Peaceful Nick the Medium. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you are all here hanging out with me. Tonight, I have a bunch of announcements and things to talk about, but I really want the main theme of tonight to be dealing with the insane Trump Epstein news cycle, and it's making us crazy. So, I'm a medium and I'm also a scientist for those of you who are new to my channel. And I have a history of trauma and abuse. And part of my mission as a human and a healer is to help others heal in many different ways. And that's, I use my mediumship and my tarot and oracle cards and my spiritual guidance readings. My goal is to help people heal. Now, we do have some crazy things happening in the news, and we're constantly being bombarded all the time, every day, every night, 24/7, on the weekends with horrible and upsetting news. And I did my Monday morning meditation for non-meditators was about this subject as well. I got a lot of messages privately from people thanking me for doing that. There are so many victims of abuse, the bad kind of abuse, the worst kind, um, that are being triggered. Friends of friends are sending me messages. People who are associated with people I love, who know this is the work I do, sending me messages asking about how am I supposed to deal with this? It's everywhere I look. So, hi, Kelly. Hi, honey. And so I'm going to go through some points about that tonight. I know that between 1/3 and 2/3 of all females in the world experience SA at some point in their life to some degree or other, and at least 1/3 of men, boys and men. And so this is triggering for many people because the news cycle with these people um, is a reminder of what they suffered through. And if you have suffered any type of trauma in your life in any way, you know that you can be triggered. You can be triggered by a song. You can be triggered by a smell. You can be triggered by a picture. And this news cycle is triggering a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are upset. I'm getting lots of messages because I'm really open and candid about my past, the abuse I suffered. I don't go into details, obviously, but it's important to know that I honor you and I validate you and I believe you. There are so many people who live silently their entire lives and don't have a place to share, a safe place to share with someone what happened to them. So they feel validated. And I believe you. I believe you. And so tonight, I just want to talk. Hi, Dawn. Tonight, I just want to talk about that. And my newsletter today was dealing with this insane news cycle. I didn't put any names or anything in my newsletter, but this is what it meant. And I think everybody knows this is what it meant, anybody who read it. So it's making people really upset. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. If you have any comments or any updates or anything, please put them in the chat. So I want to give some updates, and then we're going to dive in. I have readings tonight, so I want to dive into this and talk about it. But I have a lot of really cool stuff going on. My podcast last week, it's everywhere podcasts are found: Spotify, Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio. I think that's what it's called. YouTube. It's here on my YouTube channel, Souls and Spirits YouTube channel. It's everywhere. And last week we talked about our bodies, our minds, our frequencies, our quirks, and it was Lady Shadow and I. And then this week, I am so excited. We're talking about marriage and different issues in marriage and how we deal with different issues in marriage. And so that's what's happening this week. And you'll see it on my socials. And so please watch that. There's a lot of heavy stuff in there and personal stuff. And a lot of people, I've realized when I do my readings and have meetings and consultations with clients, um, a lot of people don't have guidance in how to handle what comes up in their marriage. And funnily enough, this news cycle with Trump and Epstein does affect marriages. I know it affected my marriage for many years because it takes a very long time to heal from abuse like that. And it affects people for the rest of their lives. So I've been married 29 and a half years approximately, and it affected my marriage a lot and still comes up from time to time. So, podcast last Friday about our bodies, body image, our quirks, our frequency. This Friday about marriage. So that's coming up. But I do have a really big announcement. Lady Shadow and I, my big announcement, Lady Shadow and I are launching a series of conventions. And we are having our first convention in Savannah, Georgia in February 2026. Details to follow later. You'll see me post about it. It's called Echoes from Beyond the Veil. And the next convention will be in Gettysburg in September. So watch out for that, all coming out over the next month or two. All the details will be coming out. Hi, Christine. Hi, Depeche Mode. Ooh, Depeche Mode. When Howard Stern asked Trump was the limit age. Oh, I heard that. Yep. And he said, for sure, not 12 or under. And yeah, I heard that. Yep. And there is video testimony of Katie Johnson that talks about Epstein sex parties when she was 13, had to give a, yep. Not even Al Capone thinks this is a hoax. Right. So there is a lot of evidence about this. Now, I've known about this for over 10 years. This has been public record. This has been known. Ivana Trump, in their divorce filing, said he GRAPED'd her. And I spelled it like the fruit on purpose. I don't want to get, off here. So this has been known that he was this way for a very long time. But some people have a cult mentality and they just believe their leader. And that's the problem. They can see evidence in front of them. They can see facts, but they just don't want to believe it. So yeah. Agree. All of that has been going on. So what do we do? What do we do about this? If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not alone. If you're feeling insane, you're not alone. If you're feeling unsettled, if you're having nightmares, I'm a person that has nightmares when I'm upset. If you're having panic attacks, anxiety, more anxiety than usual, if you're freaking out about little things, you're not alone. This is affecting many, 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 many people. So please understand you are not alone. These triggers are real. They can pull us off of our peaceful path and wreak havoc in our life. We can be fearful. We can feel helpless. We can feel rage. I was real angry about all of this stuff over the last 10 years. I watched the news a lot. And there's a lot of stuff coming out. I watched a video earlier. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is verified because you see a lot of stuff and you don't know what's the truth and what's not. Something about about Pete Hegseth getting fired because he's dangerous to national security, something like that. So if that's true, let me know in the comments. But I think there's a spiral happening. And I also heard someone say that, that this is planned to Amendment 25 him. So because the billionaires are losing money. So that wouldn't surprise me because I was talking to Linda G, Comanche Psychic. Many of you follow me from the shows I've had with her. And I mentioned, I think this is being allowed because why would there are ways to not allow someone to be in office. And I think this is being allowed. And so now maybe they're like, okay, we don't want to allow that anymore. Yes, Depeche Mode. I'm sorry, I called you Depeche Mode. Esquire reports that JD Vance visited the Murdochs, right? But yeah. Yes. So Vance is preparing the bed to impeach Trump. Yeah, the apartheid boys. Yeah. I got it. So I don't know if so you can be impeached. He was already impeached twice, but he wasn't removed from office. You can be impeached and not be removed from office. But I think they can Amendment 25 him and say he's not fit for office. Or because of his new health issues with his swollen ankles and his problems, maybe he'll step down. But I think he's got too big of an ego. But I think he's kind of losing it. And as you can see by how he's accusing Obama of treason, and he's just such a projector. Everything he says is a projection. So how do we deal with this if we're being triggered? Honor your sensitivity. Your emotional response is valid. It means you care about people, you care about yourself. You shouldn't push emotions down. You should acknowledge what you're feeling. Breathe. Name the feeling. I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm devastated, I'm traumatized. Whatever your feeling is, name it. And then release the shame. People say, you're too sensitive, you're too sensitive. Being sensitive is a strength, it is not a weakness. So don't feel bad if you're sensitive. Being sensitive means you care deeply. You care deeply. So honor your sensitivity. Honor your feelings. Your feelings are valid. And then use discernment, not denial. So discern between, am I cranky at the pharmacy to the lady behind the counter because she doesn't have my prescription ready on time? Or was I already cranky because I'm triggered by the news cycle and I took it out on the lady behind the counter? So you have to discern, why am I feeling moody? Why am I feeling upset? And acknowledge if you make a mistake and you take your feelings out on someone who doesn't deserve it, acknowledge that, apologize if you're still in their presence, and allow yourself some grace. And don't beat yourself up, because the last thing we need is more trauma. We don't need to re-traumatize ourselves by beating ourselves up. Have some grace, understand it's okay. We all make mistakes, and this is a very trying time. Not only all of this news, but also all of the other factors in our economy that are happening, all of the disasters that are going on in the US, and all of the war zones around the world. All of those things affect us if we're paying attention. If you're not affected by this, you're not paying attention. And we should pay attention to a certain degree, but we shouldn't obsess over it. We shouldn't constantly be in it, be aware of what's happening. Don't just sit and watch the news all the time. You have to protect your energy. You have to be grounded. Before you consume energy, or excuse me, before you consume anything in the media, you can imagine a shield around yourself so the negativity doesn't penetrate your feelings. You can filter out any harm, any negativity, only allow the truth and clarity to come through. And then do a meditation, take a shower, get in the pool, do something with water. because it's very neutralizing, or put your feet in the dirt or on the grass. It's very grounding. Um, thank you, Depeche Mood. Thank you very much. So you want to ground and protect your energy. You don't want to always consume. I have not watched any mainstream media news in since November, but the past week I watch. So since then, I have a couple of creators I watch. Now, for like a month or two, I didn't watch any coverage. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just was so devastated. And then I have a couple of creators. I'll watch like 5 minutes or less a day. That's it. But the last week, I've been consuming a lot more than normal because of what's happening. Because I'm for 10 years, I'm like, when is this guy going to go? When is he going to be out of our hair? When is he going to be out of our lives? He's nothing but terrible, 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 awful, awful, awful. And I noticed I've been real cranky the last couple of days because of it. So I'm pulling back on that. So you have to really keep yourself from over consuming it and ruminating. You don't want to ruminate. You don't want to stay, watch. No, you need a couple of minutes here and there, and that's it. That's it. Do something fun, do something that calms you down, take a walk. If it's not too hot where you are, paint, write, draw, watch a funny show, do something active, physical. All of those things are very good to get the ick off of you. It's important. We have to raise a vibration collectively to get through this together, because even if tomorrow he disappears into the ether and we never hear about him again, the underlying issue that allowed him to become this person that everybody knows and that has affected everybody's lives so much, there is an issue with all of the people who support and follow him. They're going to have to be decultified. Demond R says, I can't wait until this crazy felon goes away permanently. I agree. I cannot believe he was reelected. I'm not entirely sure that was a legitimate election. That's another story for another day. But I want it to be, I want to be over and done with all of that. But there is an underlying issue with the people who are still backing him up after all of this evidence and all of the nefarious things and all of the dirty deeds and all of the crap and all of the abuse and all of the disgusting, bigoted, misogynistic, horrible, racist, disgusting things he has said and done, and the horrors that are being put on our country. You know, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. You guys all know, you've heard it all a million times. So we can ground ourselves, we can meditate, and that's what my meditation on Monday, so you can go back and watch that, is about this subject, how to meditate and deal with this. You don't have to meditate for 20 or 30 or 40 minutes. You can meditate a couple seconds or minutes at a time. And meditation doesn't mean you sit in a perfect Zen pose and clear your mind and everything's perfect. No, meditation is essentially being in the present moment, just concentrating on what's in front of you and slowing down that train of thought in your mind. That's what meditation is for. Bring yourself into the present. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Be in the moment, because all you have is this moment. You can't change the past and you can't predict the future. You can only be here and now. And that calms the nerves tremendously, because our mind is the problem. Our mind is what's causing all of our stress, right? Because we're thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's the problem. So we have to slow down those thoughts. So even if you just take 3 deep breaths, let's say you're in the grocery store, You got to get milk. You got to get home. You had a busy day at work. Your husband's calling you, your wife's calling you, your kids are in the cart jumping up and down, and you broke the heel on your shoe and all of that. And you're so irritated. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. 3 deep breaths will change your mood instantly. And if it doesn't work the first time, which most of the time it works for most people, do 3 more deep breaths. Okay. Just if you calm down, everything around you will calm down. Okay. And if everything around you doesn't calm down, you don't need to be in whatever environment that is. 3 deep breaths. Demond R says, I agree. We have to think positively. Yes, we have to, because we have to raise the vibration. We have to raise the vibration. We can't keep staying in the negativity. That is, if you've ever heard the term divide and conquer, that is what fascist leaders want. They want everyone divided. They want everyone angry. They want everyone fighting. They want everybody pitted against each other. But we cannot allow that. We cannot be infiltrated by that. There are going to be a lot of angry people if he does step down or get forced to step down. There's going to be a lot of angry people, a lot of what the iHip News ladies call triple Trumpers. They're going to be real mad. Most of them are going to be real mad. But we have to maintain our composure. We have to maintain. There is power in calmness. There is power in a steady mind. There is power in that. When you get out of control, that's when you lose your power, when you get out of control. So meditation, and then transforming the triggers into action. Channel your energy into something powerful. Speak out, create something, donate, or support others. Use your voice, your art, or your presence to bring healing. And so that's my goal. So I do these meditation lives because we need to raise the vibration. I do these live streams because we need to raise the vibration. We need to heal. There's going to be a lot of healing that needs to be done. And healers, people who can keep a calm sense of mind, can help others, because things are not going to get less crazy. They're going to get crazier before they get calmed down. They are. There's no way around it. This isn't just going to disappear tomorrow and then everything's going to be back to normal. No, there will be crazy things because of everything that's been put in place over the past 10 years. All of the insanity is not just going to disappear because he's out of office. That's not what's going to happen. It will get crazier. So we need to keep steady mind. Rockman says, from your spirit guides, Nick, do you believe from your spirit guide, will we ever get a Democratic president that can reverse everything the felon did? Well, from what I've read, now I'm not a political science major or a politician. From what I've read, Joe Biden reversed a lot of that stuff, right? But then the felon got back into office, and not only did he reverse it all, most of it, he has made it worse. So yes, I believe that we will be set back to center. Somebody said on one of my videos the other day, we need to be more liberal and not centrist. And I'm like, we are not even close to ever in the next 10 years or more electing a super liberal candidate. There's not enough people that'll vote for a super liberal candidate. Has to be in the center. It has to be. Because when you're too liberal, that's how we got Trump. Because the people were mad that Obama was president and all the racism came out of the woodwork. All the racists and their racism came out of the woodwork and were so mad that Obama was president. They were so mad. And so the pendulum went from, oh my God, I felt so safe in my country. I felt so happy. I felt like, oh, there's somebody who's going to protect us. to every single day for 4 years living a nightmare, and then got reprieve with Biden and thinking, okay, we're safe again. And then back to living a nightmare. And that's what's happened. And so the pendulum always swings back and forth. You two, I don't even want to call Republicans conservative anymore because there's nothing conservative about any of their policies. They spend more money than the Democrats. They cause us to go more broke than the Democrats. They don't want to feed anybody. They want babies born but not fed or educated or loved or taken care of medically speaking. So we need someone who's moderate but understands liberal ideas and understands conservative ideas, but will be there for everyday people. That's what we need. And yes, there's no way, I just cannot accept that he's going to be in there much longer. I cannot believe that will happen. But Cool Man's asking. Well, it'll be set back to almost normal, but it's going to get crazier first. I believe it's going to get crazier. And if he does go out of office and JD Vance takes over, the problem with JD Vance is he's a very smooth talker. He's a very intelligent person. Now, do I agree with anything he says? Except for his tweets that he tweeted about Trump negatively a few years ago, that I agreed with. But anything else, he's sneaky, he's slimy, but he's smart, and that's the scary thing. So getting rid of Trump and replacing him with JD Vance may be worse for us because of the nefarious things that are going to happen, because he is smart. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Are you having fun? I know you have a busy week this week. I'm glad to see you here. Everybody follow Messages from Spirit. She's amazing on YouTube and Facebook. She's my mediumship colleague. We work together all the time. And again, someday we'll go live again together when both of our schedules calm down. So if you are struggling with the news cycle, know that you are not powerless. When you protect your peace, the more light you radiate. When you sit in love and gratitude for the things you do have, the more love and peace and gratitude you will attract. You can help others just by going forward with love. You don't have to spend money to help others. Listening to a friend who's struggling with this news cycle, just letting them vent it out, that is a big help to people. Sometimes for me, I know the females and males I know that I actually physically know deal with things very differently. The females I know always want to vent it out. The males I know, want to go hit golf balls or watch wrestling or who knows. They deal with things very, very differently. So if you have a loved one who's kind of cranky or off this week, check in with them. Say, hey, you want to hang out? You want to chat? You want to get coffee? You want to go pass the football around? Whatever it is. Just check in with your friends if they're acting off. Not everybody wants to talk about their triggers. Not everybody is going to open up and say, when I was a kid, this and this and this happened, and I'm devastated by this news cycle. And they're not all going to open up, but they all need somebody to show them that they care. And that's how we can help. Let them know that they are seen and heard and loved, and they're never alone. And they never have to tell you what's really bothering them, but that you're there for them. And hi, Lori from Texas. So I have to get to some readings tonight. Oh, Demond has a question. I'm curious, will the Democrats have the majority in the Senate and House midterms? Will that stop the orange guy from destroying this country? Well, Texas is trying to redraw and gerrymander 8 districts to keep them Republican because they're probably going to go Democrat. So they're trying to redraw those maps and gerrymander them. If gerrymandering was outlawed completely, because I felt like the Supreme Court outlawed it, but then it got reversed. I'm not sure the order of things that happened there. But if gerrymandering wasn't legal, we would not have these problems. And there's a reason why, and both parties do it, but it's not okay. Hi. Yanthy. I get it wrong every time, every single time. I have to go to my readings. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to look out for the announcement of the venue for my convention/conference in Savannah in February. Oh, thank you. And in Gettysburg in September. So there, you'll see it on all my socials. I'll be talking about it on my lives and on my videos. Thank you all for being here. Remember, be there for your friends who are triggered by this news cycle. It's going to get crazier before it gets better. And I love you guys, and I love you, Kathy. And let's talk soon. And I'll be back next week sometime with a live, probably a couple times next week. But just stay tuned and love each other. We have to lift the vibration in order to get through this. Thank you all so much. Good night.